Tell me what you see in me. Gotta be something different.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Amber, and we are back with another video. And if you've read by the title of this video, it's not at all the video I thought I'd be making after a doctor's appointment. I started off this morning knowing I had a doctor's appointment because I needed to get, like, you know, your annual pap smear, things like that, as a woman should get for a year. So that's what it started off as. So I just got out of the appointment, but the appointment kind of took a different turn. And it had nothing to do with the pap smear itself. So a little bit of back family history. My mom, my aunt, and my mom's mom, you know, all have like a breast cancer gene. And it is something that can be passed down through kids, siblings, things like that. And I think my grandma did pass away from it, I believe. I got to get a little bit more information on that. I got to talk to my mom a little bit more about how my grandma passed away, my mom's real mom. But either way it goes, my mom had the gene, my aunt had the gene, so they all both had to have their breasts taken off and their ovaries taken out and things like that. I mean, I know my mom was done having kids, my aunt was done having kids by then, so I mean, as long as it helped them in the long run to avoid getting cancer, then obviously they did what they had to do. You know, I'm a mom of 5 boys, and I definitely want a little girl. So, you know, me and my husband, we were just talking about it like yesterday, day before yesterday, about how we felt about having another baby. And it was definitely a big question mark, because we did just have one. But after the news I got today, it's kind of like a 50-50 feeling. 50% of me still wants to have a daughter, but 50% of me doesn't want to have any more kids because of the information I found out. Basically, so I don't have everything in full detail because they just gave me some printout information about it. I have to wait for a doctor to call me, a specialist to call me, so that way I can get in to see somebody about it. But basically, I have BRCA1, which is BRCA1, which is a cancer gene mutation that was passed down from my family. And I tested positive for having BRCA1. I am 85%. I tested positive in the 85 percentile, which means that I have a higher percent chance of developing breast cancer. I have a higher percent chance of developing breast cancer because of my testing and how high percentage I am. My birthday was just last week, so I just turned 32, and 35 is usually the age for BRCA1 to where they start doing, you know, they start wanting to remove your ovaries, remove your breasts to avoid getting the cancer in your body, just so that way you can avoid it. And so yeah, I knew there was a high chance of me having the gene or the mutation, because it is something that has been in my family. It's been something that's been passed down from my family. So it's not something that I wasn't aware of. It's definitely not something like that. I was definitely aware of it. But to hear it out of the doctor's mouth, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different to hear it from a doctor's mouth, compared to just knowing it. So, she referred me to a specialist, so I have to wait for the specialist to call and, you know, set up an appointment for that. But for those of you that don't know what BRCA1 is, I mean, I tried to do as much Google research as possible, but that can only get me so far. And I was just at my OBGYN, so, you know, like, they know the basics, obviously. But in order to get you a full rundown detail of what BRCA1 is, I am going to need to probably hold that off until maybe my next updated video, because I want to hear it from the specialist in regards to what it is in full detail. So yeah, I want to hear it. Yeah, I want to hear it. Sorry, I'm just reading a little bit of this stuff. I just want to hear it better from, you know, the people who are the specialists, you know what I'm saying? I guess I couldn't even get it out. My goodness. So yeah, I'm just a little bit overwhelmed with hearing the information out loud. Kind of overwhelmed me a little bit. I cried a little bit in there, and then I kind of just held it in because they were doing the annual. So yeah. Yeah. It just says, what does a positive test result mean? It says a positive test result means you have BRCA mutation in which you have been tested. That means you have an increased risk of getting cancer. It does not mean you will get cancer. There is no test that can tell people which with a BRCA mutation will develop cancer or at what age. It's important to discuss your results with your genetic counselor and learn what you can do to decrease your risk of getting cancer. So it's not guaranteed that I will get cancer, but I do have a higher percent chance of getting it because of the fact that I tested positive in the 85 percentile of having it, and it's BRCA1, which is a higher risk than BRCA2. So again, I will have more information about it once I go to a specialist, but they said, you know, they need to do, like, you know, mammograms and all that type of stuff. And, you know, now that I've been tested and tested positive for it, it's something that needs to be kept an eye on. So yeah, it's definitely not a conversation that I wanted to be having. Today's my day off, but at this point, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go log back into work. I need to do overtime today, but I don't know. I need to talk to my mom. I'm about to pull off. I've had this car running for like 10 minutes. So I need to pull off. So when my mom comes home, my mom has something she has to do with her doctor today. But when she comes over, I'm going to obviously talk to her about it, get her opinion, get her advice on what she thinks I should do. You know, because like I said, me and my husband did talk about wanting to have one more child. And obviously, eventually, not today, tomorrow, next month, next week, but I mean, eventually, if this is something that is going to affect me for my children in the long run, I want it taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to see my kids grow up and all that type of stuff. So it's obviously something that if it becomes an issue for my health, I want it taken care of. Like, I don't want to prolong a situation that will affect my health for my children, because at the end of the day, they're all that matter to me. So if it's something that's going to help me be around for my children, then obviously I want to get it taken care of. But I don't know. This is just definitely not the news I thought I was going to hear today. That's all I can say. It's just not the news I thought I was going to hear today. I thought I was just going to go in for my annual. Everything was going to be normal. Like, get your pap done, some blood work, you know, all the stuff they do for your annual. Nothing that I haven't done before. But then she came in and she came in and she was like, I have a question before we start the other stuff. And I'm thinking, like, okay, like, what's your question? She was just like, do you know that you had tested positive for BRCA1. And obviously doctor's terms isn't something I understand. So I'm like, no, what's BRCA1? I don't know what that is. And then she just started fully explaining, which I wish I could have, in that moment being explained it. You don't think about turning on your video to record. I wish I would have, so that way I could have inserted the clip on, you know, what she was actually saying compared to like trying to explain it third party. But in that moment, you know, when she was just saying everything, all I could do was just sit there and listen. Like, I couldn't turn on my camera, I couldn't pick up my phone, I couldn't do anything. All I could do was listen to what she was saying. And I'm not trying to re-explain it, because there's no way I could re-explain it to y'all the way she explained it to me. But just the basics of what she was saying is that I tested positive for BRCA1, which is a breast cancer mutation gene, and that I'm in the higher 85 percentile of getting it or something. It's just hard to explain, because like I said, I didn't think about turning the camera on when we were talking about it, and so it's hard to explain. And I don't want to go into too many details of explanation until I know exactly what we're dealing with. Like, exactly. Like, I need to hear it from a specialist on exactly what this gene is, what the risks are, what my probability of having to have surgery, whether it's ovarian surgery, whether it's breast surgery. Like, I just need to know all of the facts, all of the details, all of the information before I try to go into full details of explaining it over a camera, because I don't know. It's just, in that moment, it was just all confusing and overwhelming and not what I was there for that day, or today. So it's a day. I didn't even tell y'all what today is. I don't even know what today is. What's today? Today's Wednesday, May 1st. Wednesday, May 1st, 2024 at 9:44 a.m. I had my appointment at 9 o'clock, so I had been in there since 9 a.m. And I got right in, shockingly. They called me right back real soon. Like, I didn't have to sit around and wait. So that was nice. Oh my God, I don't know what this car is doing. This car don't even know what it's doing. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here so I can call my mom and see where she's at, because it's not almost lunchtime, but I know that I wanted to go have lunch with her later. So I will talk to y'all in the next video. Bye.
Love is